Good evening, everybody, and welcome to StatCheck episode 143. This is Death Guards and Challenging Cards. I hope everybody is. Thanks, Anthony. That's exactly the response I was looking for. I couldn't think of a pun, so I was just like, rhymes, the other alternative. I hope everybody's having a great day on this fine Tuesday, July 1st. If you're here, I'm sorry, I'm very busy picking Discord right now to tell everyone that we're live. But I hope everybody's doing well on this fine day, whether they're playing Warhammer or not playing Warhammer or anything in between. I managed to have another weekend of just playing way too much Warhammer, but none of it was a tournament for a change, which was nice. I didn't have to leave the comfort of my own home to just play a ton of game on TTS. So yeah, overall, no complaints from me. Anthony, how about yourself?
It's going. Things are pretty good. I played my Middle Earth Strategy Battles tournament.
How'd you do? Did you win?
No, I did not win. I lost to the guy that won in round one because I just made like a pretty funny goof that is too long of a story to explain on air without this turning into a Middle Earth podcast.
Sure.
And then
You get double turned.
No, I just like did some. There's like a thing that's worth a bunch of victory points in the game, and it's one of your models in your army, and I like put it somewhere it didn't need to be, and he got cut in half by Aragorn. And I,
Suboptimal, yeah.
And it's like the banner, and then he could pass it off to a homie. So I just sacrificed half my army to getting chopped in half by Aragorn as they handed the banner to the next idiot to get murdered. But then after that, I won my next two games. So one of which was into the dude who was in the 2-0 bracket at 1-1. I got paired up, so it was fun. It was a good time. It's a fun little game. It's a good little break. It's not better than 40k, but it's fun. Glorfindel whips. Getting to hit people with elvish sabers is always sweet. That elvish sword from the movie remains the best melee weapon of all time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my weekend. And, as my little thingy here seems to imply, the WTC grind is a go. We are off to the races.
I found I was scrolling back through my phone and I found a meme from last year that I'm going to go and dig out to send to. I'm going to just put it on the channel because I made it last year and I think it's still very relevant. But yeah, it's a fun time of year, isn't it? We're all just incredibly busy all of the time for no good reason.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite part of the year for some reason, despite that. So yeah, it's God, it's fun. I wish it wasn't fun, right? That's the worst part. Like, I wish I wasn't enjoying myself the entirely day, but I'm just like, all right, let's get everybody locked in, really like just drill down on learning and getting good and just like improving every year. Because this is the bit that drives you to be better for next year as well, right? There's just a lot going on at this time of year, but it's just, God, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a tough balance, right? Like, you have to both pick a team for, this year and for later. Like, this is not just the team you take this year. This is going to be your veteran pool for next year and so on and so forth, right?
And these are the people like, how well do you work together? How well do you go on holiday together? Right, all that stuff that goes into it. How well are you all eating at WTC? Right,
right.
The 3 restaurants you can choose between.
3? Did Laban open 2 more restaurants?
Look, all I'm saying is one of our coaches looked at the menu options and went, I'm going to go find places we can get vegetables. So
yeah, vegetables would probably be good. Someone should get on that for us. Yeah. Yeah. That is so real. It's what's the one meme with like the Mr. Incredible faces where he's like normal and then like super dark. That feels like that too. Yeah, it's it's fun. It's a good time.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, at least we have to prep for tipping point and you guys don't, right? Which is nice. It's a nice benefit being a pool 1 seed.
That's true. We get to just be like tipping point. No,
we're playing our pool 1 seed and our pool 3 seed, and we could trip and fall in that game. Round 1 is tipping point. Is tipping point supply drop now?
Yeah. Woo!
We're just gonna pair it to the one team that's brought like 4 Norns or something like that, and be like, "Oh, sucks, buddy."
You're gonna play the team with like all big bugs, nids, CK, IK, and big demons, and you're just gonna be like, "Fuck!"
We're gonna be like, that seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is stressful. The round 1 supply drop last year got us. I think we were like 82-78 or 80-80 against Northern Ireland. It was like,
you got supply dropped, dude.
Supply dropped. We had their Grey Knights and their Necrons both went second. We were just like, secret missions are very in power that year.
My first
Didn't
mission
go
of the
line.
event, I had to take a secret mission, and I was like, this does not bode well for the rest of this.
Yeah, it's gonna be like if I was a tier 3 seed this year and I'm like, I want to try and upset our tier 2 seed and like get out our groups like 2-1, I'd probably be like, so if we just like brought 7 supply drop lists that are like, lists that are good outside of pod, but like
Really
skew a
fucked
little
up
for
in supply drop.
It's like it's not a bad place to be like, we fucked around, tier 2 seed, fucking get 'em with a knife.
Yeah.
Their shit.
Look, I hope every year that you guys knife your tier 1 team, and as long as it's not us.
That is totally fair. That would be disastrous for everyone's mental state.
Yeah, that would be suboptimal. Yeah, that would be bad.
I'm just really hoping for like a nice chill team. Unfortunately, Canada fell out of pool 1, so we don't have our free win.
Naturally.
But, we'll see what happens. We'll take what we can get. Just not France. Really, it's just not France. That's the real one that you're just like, just not last year's winners straight off the back. Right?
Did you guys do that 2 years ago?
No, we played them, but they were our pool 1 seed, but they were like 9th seed overall in pool 1.
No, I meant like, didn't you have the winner in pod not too long ago? Am I thinking of someone else?
No, we didn't. No, we've had.
I was Hell Pod last year. That's what it was.
Yeah,
It
we
was
had
Jeremy.
Germany, then France, then Netherlands have been our pool 1 seeds over the 3 years, but neither of them has been the winning. Have been the winning team at that time. We fell into Australia in round 5 one time. That was fun as the previous year's winners.
Yeah,
like we're Scotland. What are you doing down here, boys?
Yeah, hey, go away.
Stop it, guys. Get some help. They had 3rd that year as well. I was like, why are you guys playing us?
Yeah. Look, we got 4th, 5th last year playing. We played Denmark in round 5. So
I think we played Denmark like every year except last year. It's the first year we've not played Denmark in like since I started going to WTC/ETC.
Really?
We didn't play Denmark.
Oh, they were a super cool
I think
team.
we played them 6 times in 7 years that I've been.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I missed my round against Denmark. Yeah. After round 5, we talked about Molochs and Trigons, Alex. We did talk about Molochs and Trigons a whole bunch. That was good fun. That was unfortunately not. That wasn't this year though. That was the year before, right? Because that was the year. The year you were playing and I was playing the Deathwing. It was the index year. So, such is life.
Oh,
anyway, as you might have noticed, guys, WTC is list submission is in 2 weeks, so it's all we're going to talk about for like the next month. Because unfortunately, all of our brains, or at least certainly mine and Anthony's brains, are hardwired to only care about WTC this time of year.
Yes,
I'm
this
doing my
time
best
of
to
year.
get out. Yeah, I know, right? I'm doing my best to get outside and touch grass as much as I can, but
yeah,
it's really, and Anthony's playing Elden Ring and touching Grace. So
yeah, I'm touching. That's so good. Nice. Hell yeah. Good job. Yeah, Night Rain's pretty sweet. I made a mistake, like I often do when I play games, where I did this thing where I was like, dude, there's a guy that's in like hooded armor that uses a greatsword. That's gonna be me. It's gonna be sick. And like 5 or 10 games in, I was like, oh nope, surprise, bitch! It's the big meaty man with the axe again. That's actually what you're playing. There you go. Off you go. And I've played nothing but that since.
The warrior that ends up as the barbarian every time.
Every time, dude. I can never just. Sucks. Like any game where there's no like reaction speed, visual component, skill issue thing going on, I play like Warlock or something like that. And every time, the minute the game's like, oh, but this guy's beefy and can take a hit, I'm like, well, that's what I guess I have to play because I fucking suck at this. So here we go.
I often say when I play video games, I have reaction speed of a dead horse. Which is
Right, yeah.
real tough gamer hours out there. I play turn-based games for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm real good at roguelikes. Balatro is my play.
Dude, this game is like they fused like a roguelike with it's fun.
Nah, dude. Do I need to be able to have? Can I actively scroll through Instagram Reels while I'm playing?
Probably.
No,
if you play some of the classes, not the one that I'm playing. So my problem, right, with this space is that like I also don't want to play a caster. If I was content to play the bow guy or the summoner, we'd be set. I could be bad and it wouldn't be a big deal. But that's not the case. I like to be in melee, and now because of that I have to be the big beefy dude.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Imagine wanting to be good at things. Cringe.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Right. I will shout out, we are waiting a little bit for stats from Jeremy, so we're going to be prevaricating a decent amount before we start, and we're mostly going to be doing a questions and answers. Jeremy sent me a bunch of stats, so I will be dealing with them in a couple more minutes. But yeah, so we are mostly going to be doing questions and answers from the chat and talking about things, because all of our prepping games are secret now.
Yay! And we can talk a
yeah.
little bit about stuff.
Yeah, we can talk a bit. We can talk a bit about stuff. Hey guys, I'm probably playing hosted WTC. Did anybody guess that?
I'm playing something that people are gonna shit their pants when they see it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. The goal is Anthony. I did turn Anthony's volume down a little bit, but I can turn him down a little more if you guys want.
I can also make me lower.
That would work too. I'm also generally, my sister's sleeping above me, okay. So I want to try to be quiet.
I have made it lower. Did that assist?
It certainly. I mean, it sounds funny to me because I just turned my volume down when you were a little loud. But we'll see how the stream responds.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate goal. It's really weird because like last year my list was very strange. It was the Synaptic Nexus, and the year before was the Deathwing Knights that like 3 people had total. And this year I'm just playing the thing I've been playing since November, and no one's going to be shocked. And I'm like a little bit like, aw, I want to YOLO an army on the Wednesday before the event again.
Yeah. Look, chat was like Anthony on Drukhari. When they get their 10th book and they're the most broken thing we've ever seen, I'm gonna be all over it, guys. But until then,
when they give the Raider towering,
sure. No, when they give it assault ramp, just like on the data sheet.
They bring Dark Technomancers back and Raiders get firing deck Overwatch.
Yes. The real shame is that like like either the shame or the glory, right? This can only go one of two ways. Is that my favorite part of Drukhari is mostly resin models. So
when they either the legends,
yeah, either we get new covens, which would be sick, or my favorite part of what used to be my favorite army goes to legends.
The new plastic Uriel model.
Yeah.
Everything else goes.
Oh, that would be so sad.
You get Urian and an upgrade kit for Kabalites.
No.
Yeah, you get a grotesque that you can stick inside a radar as like the pilot, and that's a Coven Raider now.
Jesus,
it's a different data sheet.
Dude.
You can only run 3 of them because they're not dedicated, so they don't get scout.
No.
There's a new plastic Beastmaster, but it's just him and 3 birds.
Just individual birds. They have 1 wound.
3 solo birds on a base.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's so much they could do with Drukhari that would make them incredible and amazing and make me love them again, but alas, they have not. They've opted out of all of those options and instead into whoa, haywire that fire and fades. And I don't like that at all.
It's not a bad place to be in a night meta game, but
it's not good though, right? Because it's also a PBC meta game.
Yeah, like if I was a teams Andy, that's not a bad place to be as a Drukhari player, but.
Look, as long as I hit either of their knights and not the other 6 armies, everything's fine.
Look, there's probably another vehicle list on that team. Who's not got 3 vehicle lists, one of which isn't Death Guard. Yeah, look, I'm sure Scari's going to have the best WTC of his life.
Yeah.
But Scari's ability to gaslight gatekeep girl boss is unparalleled.
It's untouched. Look, listen, chat. Johnny Septum. That is exactly what I did before they came out in 9th. I used a lot of Drukhari. It was a whole fucking bunch of them because they were god awful. Then they got a book and they became really good. And now I'm here. So
I think, hear me out. You never recovered that Raider from the bottom of the elevator shaft, obviously.
No, it's still down there, dude.
Until that's out of there, Drukhari are in fucking shits. That's the problem.
Dude, they were good after that. They were good for so long after that. That was easy. They were good for months after that.
It took months for like the Black Voodoo to wait to like.
Oh, to get into the Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's it's all about the voodoo. So yeah, we're very much looking forward. So for anybody who is paying attention and wants to know, List Lock for WTC is on the 13th. So it is a week on.
It's 12 days.
It's a week on Sunday. When you say it like that, it's real.
That's
real
spooky,
hours, isn't it? Real gamer days. So when we're back on, what is the next episode? The 15th, 2 days after, we're gonna be here. We're gonna have every single team's comp. We're gonna talk about it all, right? That's what we're here for. We're gonna be like, hey, let's have a look at all these teams comps. What have we brought? What have other teams brought? What's cool? What are the pool 1 seeds bringing? What are the pool what armies are only showing up once? Remember last year where there were no GSC, and we were all like, yeah, that makes sense. What's gonna be this year's? Oh, there's no. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, agents, right? Surely.
Look, if you told me that a team had found some like psychopath shit that beats knights and agents, I almost don't think I would not agree. I would be like, yeah, dude, I'm sure that's probably a thing in that codex. There's just like 6 units that just like randomly have an anti-character on everything or something like that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, just Turbo Goomba stomps knights.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, every team's knight player has like, if your team has an agents player, your knight player strangled him and took their army because they were like, I will have 2 emulators.
Yeah.
Or I will have 2 henchman squads, or I will have a Calidus assassin, because knight players are nothing if not selfish.
They take your sisters, they take your agents, they take your marines if they could.
Yeah, we did our over-unders last week for some of the factions, so we'll probably do a bit more of a predictions episode next week for WTC stuff and be like, all right, let's do all that, and then we'll probably have our WC draft at some point as well, all the good stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting time of year. It's an exciting time of year. In about 2 weeks, most of the veils come off. I think it's just been more like, what's that actually good into? Why is that dog shit list on that team?
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. My favorite part is that like the 2 days after, where everybody is just like constantly talking about what the fuck is going on and what's the pod. It's good fun. I enjoy that bit.
Yeah, I mean the pods are the best part. The pod draw is like every year.
I am very much looking forward to sitting in the Scotland Discord and live chatting and live streaming the pod draw with everyone.
Yep.
And just being like, fuck, it's the pirate pod again. I hope we just get the exact same pod as last year, just Netherlands, Luxembourg, and Northern Ireland, just straight down the line, just back to back it.
Would I like us to have the same pod? No, I like a little bit of variety. Like,
I would love some variety, but like all the teams that I want to play against are other tier 2 seeds mostly, because they're the teams we play every year. So I'm like, well, I mean, we're gonna play a tier 1 seed. We're gonna hope we can beat them. We're gonna hope we're better than our tier 3 seed. We're gonna have we're gonna try not to have a close game with our tier 4 seed. Can't ever guarantee that. Someone's getting Chinaed. Just someone's getting Chinaed.
That's true.
Someone is absolutely getting Shanghaied. And
yeah. Yeah.
I know, right? And that's a stressful place to be, right? I hope they have the reveal stream more pizzazz this year. I hope it's exactly the same as last year.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. What do you mean?
I love the Contact Lost Boys, but Jesus fuck, that stream was bad.
No, easily the best part of WTC is to have like a dead-eyed Polish man do the draw. It's the best.
Yeah, but like, couldn't you just get Typhus to do it? Like, come on.
He would do it the same way.
Yeah, the pro draw is just a horrible like 30 minutes of your life.
I love it, dude. I think it's great.
As a full 2 seed, it's awful. Like, again,
every year for us, it's just like, are we gonna get the knife wound tier 2 team? And every year so far, it's been like, oh,
is it Belgium? Is it Belgium?
Mark save from Belgium.
Belgium are going to. I would be shocked if Belgium didn't win their pod this year.
I mean, it depends on where they land, right? If they get fucking France, then
I'm honestly like, if it's not like exactly France, I think there's decent odds they can take anyone.
Ain't gonna be us.
I don't know. We'll see.
Too strong,
always. All right, should we do some stats? Anthony, make funny faces.
Stats. I can be present while you do stats.
Make funny faces and respond and make funny jokes about the things I'm saying. Okay, that's your job right now. Okay.
All right, nailed it.
I need you to be the chat's window view to me reading numbers.
Okay, sounds good. They're Subway Surfers.
Exactly. All right, you can just like get real close to the camera when I say things and stuff like that. So.
Oh, not now. Sorry.
No. So, as usual, these are the stats from all of the 24 plus round tournaments with 24 plus player tournaments with 5 or more rounds. We are missing a bit of the French data, I believe, from mini headquarters, just because the integration is a little harder on that side. But we have all the stuff from PCP and all the other various sources. We're generally mostly exclude armies that don't have 10 or more results, because just data size is pretty small with those. So we will be going through the top 5 and the bottom 5, and then I'll run through some of the more interesting ones in a little less depth. And obviously, if there's anything you really want to hear, shout out in chat. I do not have any detachment breakdown data, unfortunately. Jeremy is busy this week, so we, as you can see, he's not here. So we're just running with some raw stats. But let's start at the actual bottom, because it's an army with less than 10 players. Imperial Agents' win rate was this weekend, Anthony, with their 3 players.
3 players?
30%. 15 games. No, dude, you
30%.
got to go way down.
20%?
Nope.
God, above 15%?
Close. 13.3% win rate for Imperial Agents this week, my
Oh,
friend.
God.
And an overrep of 0.
That is not good, brother. That is so
real
bad.
bad. That is going one they went 1 win, 12 losses, and 2 draws.
Good fucking lord, dude.
You have to work pretty hard to have a win rate that low. Their win margin was 3 points.
So they barely won the game they won.
Yep. Their average VP was 41.13, which is not the lowest of any army in this set, hilariously. There are 2 armies that I can see immediately, 3 armies that are lower, but don't worry about it. All right. So, 5th from the top, we have Genestealer Cults with 13 players, making up 1.4% of the metagame. We have a 55.4% win rate, 1 event win, 3 top 4s, 3 top 10s, and a 2.61 overrep. Well done, Genestealer Cult players, coming out of the woodwork. No mirrors. That's my favorite stat for GSE. Just no mirrors. Imperial Knights, 66 players, making up 7% of the metagame. They had a 57.5% win rate, 2 event wins, 11 top 4s, 25 top 10s, and a 1.88 overrep. You know we're doing strong when coming out the gate. Number 5 was above 55% win rate, and number 4 is another 2% above that, because there's still 3 to go. In third, we have Blood Angels with 38 players, making up 4.1% of the metagame. We have 57.7% win rate with 1 event win, 6 top 4s, 11 top 10s, and a 1.78 overrep, which is totally fine as an army making up 4% of the metagame. In second, we have Chaos Knights with 45 players making up 4.8% of the metagame. We have a 57.8% win rate with 2 event wins, 5 top 4s, 13 top 10s, and a 1.25 overrep. So notably, they had the same event wins, 6 less top 4s, and half the top 10s as Imperial Knights did, while having slightly under 2/3 of the player base. Well, it maintained the same event wins, which is why the overrep is a little lower there. And in first place, shocking, I would say absolutely nobody, we have Death Guard with 85 players, making up 9.1% of the metagame, which is the highest in the game, including where the second highest is Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, and Death Guard combined make up 20% of the metagame. We have a 60.7% win rate, 6 event wins, 10 top 4s, and 26 top 10s for a 1.33 overrep. So for anybody keeping track at home, that means for being 9% of the tournaments, 9% of tournament attendance, they made up 12% of top 4s. So 1 in 8 people making top 4 tournaments this weekend were Death Guard players, which is the takeaway. I will give a massive shout out to Nathan Roberts of End of the Matrix, who managed to win the Glasshammer Major, because 2 other people fell into draws, or 4 other people tripped and fell into draws, and Nathan jumped to first. So shout out to Nathan, massive congratulations, well done, coming off the back of his win at Bristol. Nathan's been absolutely killing it with the Death Guard recently, so very well done to him. All right, let's come in from the bottom end. In 5th from the bottom, we have Space Wolves with 10 players, making up 1.1% of the metagame, a 43.9% win rate, 0 event wins, 0 top 4s, 3 top 10s, and a 0 for overrep. 4th from the bottom, we have Astra Militarum with 28 players and 3% of the metagame, a 42.9% win rate, 0 event wins, 0 top 4s, and 4 top 10s for a 0 on overrep. 3rd from the bottom, we have Space Marines with 52 players for 5.5% of the metagame, a 41.5% win rate, 0 event wins, 2 top 4s, and 5 top 10s for a 0.43 overrep. For Dark Angels, in the second to last spot, we have a 44 players with a 4 points for 4.7% of the metagame, with a 40.3% win rate, 0 event wins, 2 top 4s, and 6 top 10s for a 0.51 overrep, which is pretty brutal. And then in dead last place, Anthony, any guesses?
Absolute last place.
Excluding Imperial Agents.
What community complains the most when they're mostly okay?
Custodies, but that's not answer.
Yeah.
So
It's not orcs. They're probably pretty midline. Tau.
it is Tau.
Boom!
3.7% of the metagame with 35 players, a 38.6% win rate, 0 event wins, 1 top 4, and 5 top 10s for a 0.32 over rep. It's pretty rough. Your other event winners for the weekend include Adeptus Sororitas with 2 event wins, Black Templars with 1 event win, World Eaters with 2 event wins, Grey Knights with 1 event win, Tyranids with 1 event. Nope, Tyranids with no event wins. Adeptus Mechanicus with 1 event win, Orcs with 1 event win, and Leagues of Votan with 1 event win. In order from bottom to top, we have Tau at 38.6% win rate, Dark Angels at 40.3, Space Marines at 41.5, Astral Militarum at 42.9, Space Wolves at 43.9, Leagues of Votan at 44.8, Orcs at 44.9, Adeptus Mechanicus at 45.6, Tyranids at 45.9, Eldari at 46.8, Grey Knights at 47.1, Chaos Space Marines and Drakari both at 47.2, which is the halfway mark up our bracket. Not even hit 50 yet. Deathwatch at 48.5. World Eaters smack dab in the middle, 50% win rate. Adeptus Custodes with 50.6. Chaos Demons with 51.1. Necrons with 52.3. Emperor's Children with 53.2. Thousand Suns with 53.6. No event wins, but that 1.5 on overrep tells me there's a lot of top 4s sitting there. Black Templars with 54. Adeptus Sororitas with 54.5, sneaking up there with 2 event wins, 2 top 4s, 6 top 10s, and a 0.98 over rep, trending exactly in the middle and top of our bracketing. And then, as we discussed, Genestealer Cults at 55.4, Imperial Knights at 57.5, Blood Angels at 57.7, Chaos Knights at 57.8, and Death Guard at 60.7 is your rundown for the week. Overall, it is feeling very top heavy on that metagame.
It's feeling a little specific.
A little 7 armies are good and the rest are kind of bad.
Yep.
It's kind of how it's feeling. I mean, there's a decent diversity of armies that are getting top 10s in the top half, right? Once you get past like Grey Knights at to like 47% win rate, every army starts having like reasonable overrep, and like ones accepting exactly Custodes who had a 0.31 overrep. Shout out to those guys going exactly 50% win rate with 1 top 4 and 4 top 10s, but they're all going 2 wins and 2 losses and a draw, or they're all going 3 and 2 or 2 and 3. Custodes are perfectly average in the middle of the table. Sure. It's feeling very haves and have-nots in the metagame, right? Does that seem like an accurate representation to you?
Yeah, I mean, 10th, really, I think I would describe that way. In 9th, it was like halves, 2. Everybody else, a lot of the time. But, like, it feels like in 10th, a lot of the time, it's like halves, 4. Everybody else, get fucked. Also, into each other, it's a nightmare.
Like, right now, I'd say there's like 8 armies that feel like they're, playing at least pretty well, at least in the singles environment. No. Like Death Guard, Chaos Knights, Blood Angels, Imperial Knights, Genestealer Cults, Sisters.
It's the way they
Children.
It's the way they interact with each other. That's a mess, right?
It's a mess. Of course it is. That's the game. All right. Jeremy has been an absolute gem and sent me some detachment data as well. So we have got information for, and Anthony, you can shout out which one of these you think sounds most interesting to start with. Chaos Knights, Dark Angels, Imperial Knights, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, and World Eaters. Where do you want to start?
The Chaos Knights one has the most worrying number, I think.
Yeah.
So there's one guy column, third detachment.
Well, that's only one guy.
Third detachment?
Oh, yeah. So we've got for the detachments we have data for Hound Pack Lance with 4 players and a 41.7% win rate. Infernal Lance with 9 players and a 52.4% win rate. Traitorous Lance, which is the index detachment with 9 players and a 40% win rate. And Lords of Dread.
These all sounded pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
that's
fine. Remember that the army's win rate was 57.4.
That doesn't bode well.
You've got to average this out. So with 22 players, Lords of Dread had a 68.1% win rate, which is extremely fine.
That's not great.
It's probably too high. 68.1 is too big a number.
Yeah, that's Yanari stuff, dude.
Now, unfortunately, Noble Lance is the only Imperial Knight detachment, which means it just had a 56.4% detachment, and 3 people didn't list their detachment, but they could have been playing Quest of Forge Pact, I guess. but I really doubt it. Okay, let's do Dark Angels. Dark Angels, unlisted detachment, 4% win rate. Company of Hunters, 2 players, 100% win rate. One person
Olivier.
went 2-0 drop, and one person went 5-0. That's the only way that this could possibly be happening with 2 players.
You don't think they each went 3.5-0?
I doubt it. Yeah. Gladius Task Force had 5 players for a 34% win rate. Ironstorm Spearhead had 1 player for a 20% win rate. Stormland Task Force had 5 players for a 42% win rate, and Wrath of the Rock had 30 players for a truly heartbreaking 39.1% win rate.
Guys, I think that detachment might only be good if you're in a set of 12-person GT.
Oh, guys, please stop playing Hellblasters.
Or this detachment, apparently.
Maybe. I don't even know, man. Like, it's pretty miserable trying to play Knights with it, but...
there are a lot of those.
There certainly are a lot of them, and their numbers are pretty good.
These Death Guard ones are heartbreakers.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna get to that one. Let's do Thousand Suns. Warp Meld Pact, 3 players, 71.4% win rate. Look, small numbers, but God, I hate that detachment. I'm completely tangentially. Thank you, WTC, for rolling on that one in the way you did, where it just happened. The war was happened after the attack sequence. I don't think it changes that much. It just makes it feel less shit to play against, and I value that.
That's good. That's a good change. Good job.
That's a good change. Warforged Cabal, 1 player, 50% win rate. Rubrikai Phalanx, 6 players, 46.7% win rate. And Grand Coven, 32 players, 54.4% win rate. Probably slightly too good. Just a bit. Just a little bit too good.
A smidge.
Just a smidge. Okay. World Eaters, Gorshak Onslaught, 2 players, 30% win rate.
That makes sense.
Khorne Demonkin, 7 players, 53.1% win rate.
Okay.
And Berserker Warband, 32 players, 50.7% win rate. Berserker Warband is totally fine.
It's
totally fine.
One of the armies you can paint red in 40k, baby.
That's all it is. It is one of the armies of all time in this current metagame.
Yep.
And we have our last true army, Death Guard. All right. From bottom to top, Taliban Summoners and Shamblerot Victorian both had 1 player go 3-2 for a 60% win rate. Plague Company had 1 player go 2-3 for a 40% win rate. Deathlord's Chosen had 4 players go 57.5% win rate.
Wait. Plague Company?
Plague Company. One guy must have played an old tournament this week. It must have been just one GT that was just like, no Death Guard Codex. We submitted lists.
Fuck you.
We submitted lists a month ago. We've been playing Death Guard since like Eurotrash? That was like 4 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's forever ago now. That's funny.
We have Deathlord's Chosen, 4 players for 57.5% win rate. We have
that's the bad detachment. What?
Yeah, dude. Not that good. Virulent Victorum with 41 players had a 57.2% win rate. Mortarian's Hammer with 25. Oh, no, we can do that one last because that's the highest one.
Yep.
We can do Champions of Contagion, which had 9 players with a 60.5% win rate. And finally, we have Mortarian's Hammer with 25 players and a 65.8% win rate.
Oh, man. That's not great.
That's too much. That's too big. That's 10%. That's 10% too high.
For the second most popular detachment, which would have been the most popular of most of the other factions that we were just talking about.
If you took 10% off Mortarian's Hammer's win rate, we'd still be talking about how it needed nerfs.
Yeah.
Because it'd still be at 55.8% win rate.
Yeah.
God, get this army in the bin, man.
It's just indirect every time.
Yeah, every time. And it's not just indirect. Like let's start with indirect is really good, and paper scrollers are a pain in the ass. But it's not just indirect; it is also the drones.
I mean, the drones are too cheap, but like the drones could go up fucking 15 points and be fine. The
drones could go up 30 points, and you'd still play 3 of them.
That's probably true. But like, it's the indirect, man. I don't know, dude. Fucking.
I got that. Every time indirect is good. I hate playing Gene Cult and apologizing to people for like my indirect killing people with my 601 profile. So like, yeah, dude, I'm really sorry that those 2 scouts are dead. Now you can't do that action that you were planning on. And flavor scholars are like, and that's gone, and that's gone, and that's gone, and also a couple of the guys next to it.
To be fair, your your indirect does something else as well.
Sure, but I'm like genuinely just talking about like the quality of
Oh,
apply, like
sure,
the actual
sure.
damage that it does
Yeah.
is like the number of chaos players who are just like, oh man, my cultists are dead turn one, and I'm like, yeah, dude, fucking indirect bullshit.
Yeah.
So I apologize for like shooting them with like 6 storm bolters. Just like, yeah, man, just shouldn't be allowed to do that from behind a wall, bro.
Yeah, shooting
You're meant to be
behind the
safe in your
wall.
backfield. I think your home objective, any ruins in your deployment zone should have like a bunker rule where you're just like you can't be targeted by indirect weapons while you're in a ruin in your deployment zone.
That's good. I like that. Indirect
Only in
is
your
for
deployment
other
zone.
stuff.
Yeah, only in your deployment zone. But once you leave, like, oh man, the artillery's going down.
Oh,
But you're at home. You should
wholly
be a
within. Safe.
sanctity of your own household, right?
Yeah.
That's your campfire. You are safe here.
Yeah.
So yeah, the game's a little fucked. Game's a little fucked. I'm glad I'm hiding in teams. I mean, I'm doing War Master singles because I'm a fucking psychopath. But right,
You're doing teams and singles again?
I always do singles.
Insanity.
I've not won it yet. Until I win it, I'm not stopping.
That's fair. That's how I
Like,
feel about the teams. So
yeah, I know. I've got to take what I can get, man. Well, I've got a 3rd place trophy on the shelf behind me. I'm unlikely to do better than that because that's pre-COVID.
just work that German passport, dude. You'll be
I don't
fine.
have
You were
a
born
German
there, right?
passport.
You
What?
can get one.
I doubt that. All right, we have a couple super chats I want to quickly tackle before we jump on to doing some choices in the chat. So first off,
Sure.
from Nikki D. Williams, is this Anthony or Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man 3?
Depends on the day.
Yeah, Anthony, where's the rent? And Ben Jurek asks, how's Smog in that game?
He's a really expensive like solo model, basically, but he's fucking huge. And you can do funny nonsense stuff with him. He's
Does he
pretty
also
good.
still only have like 3 attacks?
No, he has like a rule that's like he hits like everyone that's in melee with him, which is really funny. So if you try and surround him and then like lose the dual roll, you get just fucking smashed.
Yeah, but if Smog just rolls his 10 dice and doesn't get any 5s and you roll a 6 on your one shitter, you hit him, right?
Oh no, it's you win the combat then shit gets crazy, but you know.
Oh Christ, what a crazy game. I look forward to seeing it.
It's funny.
Sorry, on the Sunday night we'll play a drunk game. We'll play a drunk game at WTC.
Yeah, with Middle Earth.
We'll play a drunk game at Middle Earth with our 40k models.
Yeah.
So yeah, these guardsmen are Glorfindel and his friends.
My fucking play the cav and guard as elves. Oh
yeah.
god.
Yeah, dude, it'll be great. All right, guys. So as I discussed, we are mostly just doing a banter with you guys episode today. It's Kids Table. We've done our stats. We can't really talk too much about the games we've been playing and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't at a tournament to chat about. So it's Kids Table. We're open to the challenge to you guys. What do you want us to talk about? You've got probably, until the clock hits an hour and 10, and then we'll move on to actually the questions from the Discord, and I'll do the plugs. So throw some shit at us. Let's see what you want to talk about.
Yeah, we might do it sooner.
Try to keep it like, don't go too insane in scope. We don't want to spend like 50 minutes on one question. Unless it's a really good question. If you got a really good question, go for it.
No. What would you play if you played Middle Earth?
I feel like I would want to play a list. I think we spoke about this. I would want to play like the Witch King on Felbeast and like as many rates as possible.
Yeah.
Like I just like my favorite. Like I don't think the Hobbit movies are that great, but my favorite scene in them is the one where like Gandalf goes to the Barrows and just like is in the I love that bit because
you can play that army, Rise of the Necromancer, bro.
Like the deep lore, the deeper lore stuff is way more like my preference. Like I love that kind of like the shadows lost in the background kind of stuff. That's my favorite shit.
Yeah,
I love book series that have stuff like that in as well, where it's like the discovery of it is as much part of the thing as I enjoy.
Fair. Yeah, that army's really cool. You take a bunch of ring wraiths that can resurrect. It's really sweet.
That sounds fucking great.
It's like them coming back out of the shadows. Oh, it's GSC. God damn it. Ah! Yeah.
I'm ready. Okay, how would you fix challenger cards? We spoke about this last week, Curry. You just tell me you don't watch the show, bro.
15-point differential. Then you
10 points card. On 10 points primary only in the count towards your primary.
And starting on turn 3.
Get rid of them, realistically.
Yeah, but if we have to keep them, start them on turn 3.
Think if you have to include the mechanic, 10 points from 3 onwards.
Yep.
I think is probably if you're gonna leave the cards as they are and you're not fucking with anything else, 10 points, 3 onwards is what I would change.
Or just delete the part where you can score points with them and just let them only be stratagems.
Or delete the point where you can use stratagems with them and make them only be points. Either way, I don't really
Either
care.
one.
Just
Yeah.
three of them are cards. Three of them are stratagems. Three are the yeah. I like the idea that was being floated around of like before the game, each player can ban one or something like that. But it's probably slightly too much work.
Yeah.
Do you think the game is at the point it needs an emergency update? I would probably emergency nerf Blood Angels, Thousand Suns, Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, and Death Guard.
Yeah.
If I was gonna like have the option. And I'd just like blanket, just like smack all of them with the fucking hammer and be like, you guys are going down to 45 for a couple months while we figure you out, and we'll bring you back up in a bit.
I mean, it's not that hard to like, even if you don't like blast them, like you could revert BA's buffs and like smack, 10% on a Death Guard army and smack like, I don't know, 15% on all the big knights and call it a day and just be like, that's what you get. Good luck.
The same on and like 10% on Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really would like to see it. I don't think it's likely, but I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Why are Blood Angels? They're not going wild on results. We just spoke about the Blood Angels numbers, where they were, to confirm, third overall with a 57.7% win rate and a 1.78 overrep as 4.1% of the metagame.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They were above Imperial Knights.
Yep.
Like not a lot, 0.2% above them, but they were doing
Above
better
it.
than has Anthony seen Zorba's channel? That's like modeling stuff for Lord of the Rings.
I have not. Sounds
There,
cool.
yeah, actual recommendation for flying transport models. I use KR multi-cases most of the time because I can take a backpack with like one KR case in it and then like my clothes in the front half, and that goes on as carry-on luggage. And if I'm flying, if I'm like taking carry-on luggage as well, I can take 2 KR cases and then take a suitcase.
I have
Uses a battle
Magnarack 720 from Battle Foam.
Yeah.
Maybe a 420, something like that.
I think it's the 480 or something like that, the one that fits in cargo, or the one that fits in the luggage rack.
Yeah.
Go hit with some Death Knights that advanced 13 inches to Recharge Guard. Yeah, that just shouldn't happen.
That's
sick. My like least favorite thing is like my opponent goes like 0-point card they were never going to score and card they choose to discard for CP, and then goes, oops, you got 6 points. Magnus threw a wall on turn 2. Like, this is my least favorite thing that's ever happened to me.
That's not good. Yeah, that's bad.
I hate it so much. I had a client message and was like, yeah, I had a really good plan, and then they drew the exact card, and the Silent King fell back and shoot it into the middle of my army, and then charge something else, and I wasn't really ready for that. And I'm like, I should have played around it, bro.
Oops.
What are you meant to say? Do you think most of the armies that need an emergency fix will be fixed? You can fix any problem in the game with points. Whether you fix the problem in a way that people find satisfactory is entirely separate to that too. Like, you could make Drakari the best army in the game if every model was 3 points. Like, that's not, and somewhere between that and where it is now is a state where they are balanced. But right?
God.
Like, I'm not wrong. It's just a completely useless way to describe the game, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's true.
Like, somewhere between the points they are now and cutting 50% off of everything, Drakari are balanced at every single win rate that you could conceive of, between 60 and 40. Somewhere between those spectrums. You could put, if you cut everything 20%, that army's probably one of the strongest armies in the game. So, yeah, like, you could fix it with points. It's just not in any way that people will enjoy or find satisfying. That's what they've done to Admech a bunch of times, and Admech are currently tracking at, a 40, they're in the window, 45.6% win rate. Like, they're getting an event win. They're, like, they are, but they balance them in such a way that it's like, yeah, what if we just, like, made them really cheap?
Yeah. Are we happy with differential scoring? Would you change anything? No, I think it's fine the way it is right now.
I think diff could probably lose the draw bracket as much. I think we could go back to just being like,
fuck
I don't know.
that.
I don't hate playing without it. I think it kind of just changes scores more than like affecting things, and it makes it easier to sell for the singles players, which I think has inherent value in terms of making it more acceptable.
I love the draw bracket, dude. Scrap, fight.
Sure.
No win in 10th that involves tactical cards. That's less than a 5-point victory.
No, that I will
win you earned.
I think I could also see potentially dropping it to 4-point brackets instead of 5-point brackets.
Sure.
or even potentially 3-point brackets. But
3
like,
is too much, dude.
I think 4 feels like
30 for a 20?
yeah,
Oh,
I know.
brutal.
I feel like 4-point brackets would probably be fine.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's one primary in every mission at least, right? Like one primary swings it in every mission, including terraform and all of those ones, except like once you put exactly for your home objective. That seems like it'd be fine. But like I also don't think it matters. It's like a fucking who cares problem. And adding more like bloat at the end of the scoreboards of being like, yeah, man, that 20 was even more of a 20 now, right? Like it's not useful. Right. I could also see potentially pushing it to like a 25-point system if you wanted to. Like you could do a whole bunch of stuff with it. Like no one's ever. It's one of those things. Like no one's ever really like done it, if that makes sense. So like,
Just leave it
yeah,
how
I
it
guess
is.
it's like there's not been a ton of experimentation in the space, right? So there's definitely no way to know if the version we're playing is the best version of 20
Differential is the charge phase of game systems. Just stop fucking with it.
Exactly, right? Like that's kind of where
leave
I'm
it
at.
alone.
Like, I am sure there is probably a slightly better version out there if someone was going to go and invest in like committing to trying a tournament scene around it and playing it for like 6 months. You could probably find a version that was slightly better than what we're doing now. But also, who cares? Like it works just fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Slept on marine detachments. Somehow still Liberator.
No.
I'm joking.
I can't think.
Stormlands, I guess. Kind
Not
of.
really.
Like Stormlands, I think Stormlands Dark Angels is just as good as Stormlands as Gladius Dark Angels.
What do you think about agents as a standalone, as an auto take in teams? Like, if you had to do it, what would you do? What is that question, Art of War 40K? What does that even mean?
I think that Art of War is really committing to the WTC PsyOp bit. Okay, if you had to build a comp with Imperial Agents, I would personally go for the body spam list in the Hereticus one, because its army rule is ignore cover, and it gets a special bonus, which is against Chaos armies, it gets army-wide sustained hits 1. Which I think is just funny enough to be like, we're just going to pair it into like 3 Chaos armies every round, and you're just going to like be like, here is a body spam list that randomly dunks damage at you.
What if you do that and you pair it with GSC, and anyone that's allergic to hordes just gets...
Yeah, it's just like, here is my 3 squads of infiltrating rogue trader squads, and also there's 60 cops behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I could see that. I could see that being like, you could probably scrape across the WTC like 40 diff out of that list, right?
Sure.
Like that list could average 6 points around. I feel like I'm comfortable saying that. It'd get enough challenger cards. Is fixed viable now? Yes, fixed is good, very good now. Fixed is very, very reasonable.
Fixed is sometimes viable.
Yep, fixed is entirely a thing that you should be considering at the start of most games you play for at least a minute. One thing you want to be really careful of with fixed is chasing your own tail of being like, well, I don't pick fixed because I never pick fixed, so I never think about fixed, and then I never pick fixed. Yeah. Right? You're just like, oh, you didn't even think about it, you just autopilot it into playing tactical again, instead of just being like, hey, I'm playing against Awakened Dynasty. They have 7 characters, and every time they want to score secondary, it's going to cost them a character, and they might try to bring that guy back. And also, we're playing on Crucible of Battle, so engage is just free for 2 points, and I'm probably going to get 4 if I'm playing the game at all.
Dude, the amount of times
just played fixed.
Yeah, the amount of times that I'm halfway through like turn 2 and I'm like, I could have just played fixed.
Bro, if you play New Ritual, just play Cleanse as well, by the way.
Sure.
What the fuck is that mission?
Yeah.
You're gonna get 18 without working for it, just like at all. You ain't gonna have to think about getting 18 on Cleanse.
Yeah.
If GW explodes, what other game system company would you play? I'd probably just go into playing Magic more than I play now because I quite like it.
I'd play a lot of video games.
Can't do video games anymore. I get no too bad for my personality type. I don't need to drop out of. I can't drop out of my job as well as uni, right? Like,
I mean,
both.
That you'd have to find a job because
that
GW.
Can I get really good at Magic really quickly?
Yeah, both of us would right now.
Sorry for
speaking of which, if anyone knows anyone looking for an IT position, yeah.
Innes used to play War Machine. I have played 2 games of War Machine in my life, and there is a Carnivian on my shelf because he's a beautiful boy. He's the only model I've ever painted for War Machine. I don't know if that's.
It's not showing up.
Yeah, I own exactly one because he's a cool boy and he lives on my shelf now because I played like 2 games of that.
Yep.
How do you think Wolves will match up into the car meta game? I think Wolves are pretty interesting. They have like a lot of speed and a real strength 5 problem. And if you can find a way to overcome the strength 5 problem, there's a lot of things you can play in the
You're
meta game.
cooking. Yeah.
I think the Wolfen are pretty good. Thunderwolves are pretty good. Logan and Bjorn are fantastic little data sheets. The Iron Priest stuff is cute, but it's not cute enough to make the Iron Priest stuff is cute, but not cute enough to make me want to play Iron Storm. I played a bunch of games with like 20 Wolfen, bunch of head takers, and I really enjoyed it in sort of like in both Stormlance and Beast Slayer, just being able to like either go really fast or hit really hard. It's annoying to have to make a choice between those two things a lot of the time. And you can't always guarantee that you're gonna like get the matchups that it's enjoyed. But like I really enjoyed playing, just like 30 Wolfen or like 20 Wolfen, 3x3 Thunderwolves in Stormlance and just like jailing people a little bit. The damage output's a little anemic. Outside of like the one thing you lance every turn, the lance is pretty restricted in Stormlance, but it felt pretty good. I enjoyed playing it, and I think it's got maybe a little bit of a Knights problem. I could imagine seeing that, but outside
the way
of that,
I feel when I play EC versus the way I feel when I play World Leaders has taught me that I would rather be fast than hit hard every day of the week.
I do think from playing it, I really really liked the idea of just when I connect my head taker's connected instead of being like, yeah, dude, they're behind this wall, and if you come near them, they'll. I'm like,
They're behind this wall until you go around the wall first is the worst. It sucks so bad. It makes me weep tears of pain.
Yeah, I really like Space Wolves. I really, really enjoyed playing with Solo Logan. He's just like this big asshole at an 8 base causing problems, and I really enjoyed that. Okay, now that Quentin is retired to be a famous 40k writer, who's got the best hair in 40k? Lennon.
Yeah. No, Michael Mann. Michael Mann's hair is so good that we make fun of him for wearing a wig. What do you mean?
That's fair. I just don't think of Michael when I think of 40k players.
That's unkind.
I know. I've got to be unkind.
Poor Michael.
No,
he has Brian to be mean to him. He doesn't need you to.
That's fair. Brian does not have the best hair in 40k. I gotta say as well, Arna has fantastic hair.
That's
got like the longest like computer ponytail I've ever seen. Okay, what's the stat check teams tier list to complete the psyop trifecta? We're not doing that because Anthony will combust. We in the stat check Discord, we have an emoji of the tier maker default called the unemployed pride flag.
Yeah.
Which means, Anthony, maybe it is your time. But
oh no, dude, not like this. I'm not unemployed. I'm self-employed. Thank you very much.
That's how we get you on a tier list video. we should do a tier list of all of the tier 1 and 2 teams comps.
God. We should make the tiers completely nonsensical.
Yeah, of course. It'll be like based on a high like
like the top one is I'm on this team.
Completely out of pocket on that. I'm not gonna say it on air.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, Nick says putting orcs into the bottom tier for teams on the Art War stream was heartbreaking.
That is sad.
That is really sad, yeah. Especially because it means that like I theoretically have to recommend that they buff orcs right now, and I despise that.
Orcs are like right there. They're so close.
Yep.
But
didn't you said you were like testing orcs a little bit, right? Didn't you bounce off them like entirely?
I just that's an army that you need to be doing earlier than the time in which I was trying to do them in. We have a running issue in Team America where no one ever wants to play the Wizards. The Wizards leave our pilots like a burnt out husk, looking like that one meme of Ben Affleck smoking outside of that house.
Playing against Wizards, to be fair, is goddamn depressing. I hate it. Because the Wizard player will spend 2 hours and 40 minutes of your clock time just like being like wizard shit. And you're just like, I know you need to practice your wizard shit, bro. You got to get really good at casting these spells. But I got like places to be. And
see, I don't. So I'll just eat it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I've played against the Wizard. I just don't have to enjoy it, right?
But every year, the Wizards burn through our team.
Actually, I will say, for as much as I don't like playing against Thousand Suns, playing against Subterranean Assault players on TTS is the worst because they're allowed to indulge in every circle on the map, and they they spend too long doing it.
You're just playing Fortnite, bro. The circles
the subterranean assault players, get your shit together. You can't spend 3 hours of our 3.5 hour TTS game drawing circles.
But they want to.
And every single subterranean assault player I played on TTS would have clocked out on turn 1 in a real game. Every single one of them. It would have just been like, turn 1, sorry, bro. Like, I realize it's still your deployment phase, but
yeah,
I'm trying to play around everything.
I think that orcs are just like, I don't know, man. They gotta buff battle wagons or something. Just like give them a little more mistake resiliency, you know? Let the funky hog rider men go through walls or something.
Give orcs Wa. Give orcs Wa oath a moment. They get to pick an oath target.
No, don't do that. Don't do that at all. I don't know.
Look, yes, you can play with clocks on TTS. I appreciate that, but also when I'm playing practice games with my friends and teammates, I don't want to
not doing that.
I don't want to like make their lives suck. I want them to get I want them to know what they're doing on TTS so they can do it faster when they play in real life. Which means that like I, as the first point of contact, have to suffer through them doing it just now, so that they will be better when they get in real life. But when they're starting, it's real shitty hours.
Yeah.
I can't imagine playing against me on host is fun on TTS for people. Like I'm just sitting there like, this dude's there, and this dude. Yeah.
I think that they could do a lot, or they could just unlegend Zagstruck. They should do that for orcs. I think that's the thing that they need.
I mean, bait Gretchen third. They should bring back Get the Good Bits as an orc exclusive secondary.
Dude, what they could do is they could change all secondaries to go into specific categories, and once they've got them filed down into specific categories, we take fixed.
If they changed the secondaries to be 4 times 10 point secondaries, and they were all just different, you picked 4 of them at the start of the game. We got rid of cards.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
Damn, can't be done. There shouldn't be any faction ones though, because faction secondaries are bad.
Sure, we can pretend that is a thing. Faction secondaries are great. You give different armies that
faction secondaries are awful, and I know that I'm partly saying this because goddamn did the Tyranid ones suck.
Yeah, they were shit. But Tyranid, see, that's the thing. That's the beauty of faction secondaries is that the Tyranid army was fucked beyond belief, but they were not good at scoring past killing the other team. Much like Tyranids in the setting. They're good at killing you.
Like, really random point. Do you remember picking Synaptic Insight and then just playing it in the game and just being like, shit, no, I didn't score that this turn. How does this work?
Yeah.
You're just like, and my Synapse creatures had to kill multi-wound units, not models, to a points cap, and 4 wound models are 3 points.
It's a mess, dude. It's a shit show.
Why was I doing math mid-game? Like, stop it. Like, I'm playing to get away from the math.
Yeah.
And then I play Ironstorm, and I'd be like, so how many units died to the Contemptor this turn? I guess that's 15 points.
Sure.
Because, Marines needed that. Marines...
Look, was that change at the end bad? Yeah, but, whatever.
God, it was really cool. I remember playing a game against at Warhammer Fest. I played a game against Kroot, and I picked Codex Warfare, no prisoners. In turn 1, I had 30 on my 2 secondaries because I had killed 130 wounds of Kroot and 7 units. So I had maxed both secondaries.
Yeah, good. Fuck them. Shouldn't have deployed in the open or whatever that model did.
Shouldn't have deployed models on my table. Yeah. Fucking idiots. GSC armies for faction secondaries are perfect. Have more models in your army than your opponent, and kill stuff using your army roll. Exactly, Floof. It was perfectly balanced around, the things that it really made G-Circles work for it.
Even with that, GSC were like only okay, and like 3 people were good at it. It was fine. Like everyone complains about faction secondaries, like they were this horrible plague that warped the dynamic of the game, and everyone just played the same fucking armies they play now. And it's like, okay, well, it wasn't that bad then, was it?
I definitely switched to Iron Hands because of faction.
Sure, but you were going to do that anyway.
Arxamon was real nice to them.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
God, Arxamon, do you remember we got to fit things in detachments and stuff?
I missed that.
Yeah, me too. I don't miss playing against the Ancient Machinery's Necrons.
I do. That shit was fun. Rush them. Kill them. Stop them from scoring if you don't want them to score.
You were going to do that anyway.
You see?
Should comeback mechanics be totally gone in 11? No.
Yes.
You should be allowed to appeal to any top 10 ITC player to play like your turn 5 for you if you're more than 30 points behind.
I think they should add combat rules to the game, like player versus player combat rules, if they want to leave comeback mechanics in.
To play 40k boxing is basically
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah.
Which deployment should they bring back on intelligence?
I don't even remember what that one was.
It's the one where it was like 20. It was like
Oh, it was like Crucible, but wrong.
it was like 12 off the middle line. So
Yeah.
Like the measurements. It was like 21 and a half. It's a 21 and a half from my side or your side, and 13 and a half from that one. But it was actually 0.7. So if you
I
did that,
don't
it was always
remember.
slightly wrong.
Yeah.
Legion had some like fucked up deployment zones. I remember playing that game. It was good fun. You
Yeah.
had one somewhere where it was like your deployment zone was like this shape, and your opponent's was the inverse. So it was like arrows
bad.
pointing and then arrows the other way.
Oh, that's bad. That's not
And
good.
then like you randomized the mission objective after you drafted the mission and the deployment. So you could draft one where it was like get the cart from the midfield to your deployment zone. So if you were the red player, it was like move it 6 inches down, and if you were the blue player, it was like take it to Nantucket.
I
It was like, dude, you better ban that card, bro.
fuck. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I hope that they just don't do that again with the comeback stuff. It's real
I
annoying.
unironically didn't hate End State Secret Missions.
I mean, I didn't like it, but it was fine because
If
they didn't
broadly
come up a
represented
lot.
plus 5 points on a gamble, that seemed okay. Like it was fine, right? You could gamble for 5 more points. It was fine. I didn't mind it. But like it's definitely like didn't mind it, right? They weren't like actively good. They were just there and occasionally.
Yeah, look, I would much rather get flicked in the nose than punched in the nuts, but getting flicked in the nose is unpleasant still.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just think that the challenger cards, they're just too easy to get. They're just like one turn of bad secondaries shouldn't put you on challenger cards.
The beginning of games being like this weird, like, oh, did you draw cards that were too good? Woo! Is so annoying.
You're just like opting out of cleanse on one because you're just like, I'm gonna get secure no man's land. If I just don't cleanse,
Yeah.
they can't get a challenger card. And then your opponent's just like, secure extend. You're like, oh, fucking damn it. Why did I bother?
Yeah.
Just like, I've just accidentally sabotaged myself. It's so much work when you're going first as well. When you're going second, they're just like, what if you got free upside? You're going second. The thing that's naturally better in this pack anyway.
Yeah, going second is pretty good right now.
Unless you're playing Terraform, in which case it's pretty fucking good to go first.
Then it is good to go first. That's true.
Terraform is a good mission. I like Terraform. I've enjoyed playing it a bunch.
No.
I am broadly, I like the new WC rules mission pack. That's kind of my last thought. Tipping point round 2 is tipping point round 1 is tipping point supply drop is a mess. Have they decided? Do you know if they've decided how hammer hidden supplies is going to work yet? Is it a fixed direction or is it rolled for?
Is it a pod mission?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little. It's the round you play your pool. You play your pool 3 seed. So.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one gets rolled.
Pull their spine right outside their back.
Yeah, I know.
We've hit the overconfident part of the year where the work is being done. Now I'm overconfident and excited.
It's like, what's a hammer? What's a hammer and anvil map? I don't even.
I don't even fucking know. Did they even put ruins on those board? Who fucking cares?
All right. Thank you for Jacob Leitner for the 20 something. What's your opinion about GSC versus IK and Chaos Knights? Someone asked me if I cared, if it mattered what board I played against IK or CK on, and I laughed out loud because it doesn't, just at all.
You could play on like an ETC board.
You could probably play on a Middle Earth board.
There's actually quite a bit of ruins on Middle Earth boards.
Yeah, it's sick, dude. That's perfect. I actually want that. I do want some. I just don't need them.
Like,
I prefer to have the terrain. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you were like giving me if you were like, hey, you can't have any, I'd be like, all right, I'll play. You were like, hey, Anish, you have to play a game, and your opponent's gonna play a gun army as well. You can't just be like, yeah, man, I'm playing Tau, and they're playing World Eaters, all infantry, no rhinos, and we're playing on like a 6x4 open field. If we're both playing gun armies and I get to pick, I would pick GSC versus Imperial Knights for the board game I could play on no table.
Do you think that GSC can beat those builds of knights all Revolutionary War style, just lined up against each other outside of charge range, Dawn of War, no ruins?
I think I could probably beat Imperial Knights without resolving an attack,
Mm.
and I don't have to, which makes it feel pretty positive.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
Chaos Knights. Could I beat Chaos Knights without resolving an attack? Probably not War Dog builds, but Big Knight builds. A little less confident just because of the battle shock. I feel like I would need to resolve attacks at Chaos Knights, but the second I start doing that, it's a lot worse for them than it is for Imperial Knights because they don't have a feel no pain, and that feel no pain really does keep them alive a lot longer.
No.
Knowing that I'm like guaranteed to just like when they fail a save, they take damage. Oh my god, it feels so good against Chaos Knights. I watch a Chaos Knights are like you can see their health bars going down. When I put damage on an Imperial Knight, I'm like, oh, is this the one? Is this the one that does the damage, or is this the one that goes 4 6s out of 7? I'm just like, God, fucking need another activation.
I hate that they have a feel no pain.
I hate that they have a feel no pain. I hate that I have to care who my warlord is.
Yeah. I mean, imagine, dude. Not just being like, oh, it's my Primarch in every army that you play. I guess
yeah, man, you're really running
now.
that Fulgrim.
Yeah, Fulgrim, World Leaders, Mortarians, not Turbo Common. All right, maybe never mind. Maybe that joke is outdated now.
I mean, like Emperor's Children already care who their warlord is, right? You already don't want to lose that guy.
True.
I like have to specifically be like, it's this saboteur against knights. She lives in Guam.
Yeah, she's over there.
If it's search, she might be on my expansion because she's so far away from them. Right? I'm just like, she can walk to that on turn 3 and hold it once I'm done. Right? Like,
Yeah.
And everything else, she's like on the home objective, like giving up, like high five and the Gretchen that are on it, the melee acolytes. She's like, it's a party down here. You guys are real safe from that Calexis assassin, from that Caldus assassin ingressing on you guys now. Safe as houses. And like her indirect does anything in that matchup. So
True. Yeah.
When is the Imperial Knights versus Knights? When is the Innis versus Knights passive stat rep? I value my time not a lot more, but slightly more than that, unfortunately. Ben says, if I were to defend with Death Guard, what 2 armies would you attack with?
I would attack with my Imperial agents and my GSC.
Yeah, the Imperial agents that I have to bring.
Yes, my GSC.
And my pacifist GSC. I would recommend that you consider talking to your team about that, Ben. I don't know if you've ever tried that. Also, you're not going to be competition for us for a while, right? Like we're not doing Champs Cup this year, so
yeah.
I don't know, Ben. I don't know. I don't trust you. All right. I think that is going to do for just for taking questions for the general chat. I hope everybody's enjoyed the clarification. I'm going to do the plugs now because it's that time of day.
Oh wow, that half hour went by so fast.
I know, right? It's just the quality of good company, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's wonderful for you.
Pickles is right there, dude.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you're an hour and 10 to the show, for the 190 people watching, we really do appreciate it. If you could do all of the usual social things, mainly the like and the comment, those are the really big ones that help us out. We do our best to read and respond to all the comments and chat back with you guys, and it really does help us with feedback and discoverability and all that good stuff. If you're supporting us, if you're in the position to support us a little bit more and you would like to do so, you can check out YouTube memberships in the description below, or also patreon.com/statcheck. $5 a month gets you access to our Discord where you can have a chat with any of us. You can make fun of Isaac with us, really all that good stuff. Mostly the making fun of Isaac. But you can also, take part in the Vibe Check Leagues. You can see the list we're playing, talk about us. You can make recommendations for videos. All that stuff is available. If you want to support us even more, you can chuck $15 at us. You can get your name shouted out at the end of the show in our high 5 tier, which Nathan's not here, so I get to suffer through that this week. It's wonderful. You can also check out our sponsors. That's Red Dragon at red-dragon.ca for war games, miniatures, card games, magic, a lot of magic. Keep looking for magic. I'm like, next time I'm in Canada, I'm going to order a bunch of magic from down. 15% off for Star Trek patrons and YouTube members through the link in the description. And I believe that gets 20% off on everything else, but don't quote me on that. But 50% off on 40k and other GW stuff. You can check out Saltar Games and J15 Games, saltargames.co.uk and etsy.com/shop/J15games. They both have relative codes that you can find in the description below for getting a discount code on widgets, tokens, terrain, all that stuff. and tell them we sent you. And if you want to get WTC specific terrain, you can check out wayland-utani-inc.com and use code StatCheck5 at checkout. You can get actual WTC terrain, especially if you're in Europe. I would strongly recommend it. It's really good stuff at Flatpaks Down, and we do love them. So thank you to those guys for sponsoring the show. If you would like to get some help with, getting better at Warhammer, you can check out stat-debt.com/coaching or drop us an email at coaching@stat-debt.com. If you'd like to work with us on, growing as a player, developing, anything like that, check it out. And if you want to speak to Anthony personally, message Anthony. You can deal with it right now. He's got that unemployed flag. He's going to be doing tier lists soon. Got to help a man out.
Fuck, I hope not.
Got to get that video money, mate. It's all about the ad revenue. We don't even
revenue.
We don't even turn on ads on half our videos, but it's fine. It is what it is. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the show questions, which are coming from the StatCheck Discord. If you want to get your question answered on the show, there are technically 4 ways now. One is to be a member of YouTube and Patreon and go and post it in the show thread. One is to leave us a super chat on the YouTube video. The third is to just ask a really good question. And the fourth is to hope it's a Kid Tables episode and we run out of topics. Like, those are technically all.
That all works.
Now. So if you can sabotage Jeremy and Nathan, you are much more likely to get that. Brian, I have one last question. Anthony, do you want to do a show where you and I just do tier lists on random stuff each week?
I would do that. I think that'd be really funny.
I think there's like a decent amount of market for like stat check at home where it's just like us, just us doing an off-topic stream. I think that'd be great. We can get Brian on for that, right? Just like Friday lunchtime unemployed stream.
Yeah, I love the idea of like once a month. It's like serious. And we're like talking about like the way we would craft a list for like a really specific thing, but you don't know what you're gonna get or what week of the month it's gonna be on.
Like serial tier list, and it's just like Brian has tried both UK and American ones, and we've both got no context on the other stuff.
The episode is 4 hours long. When you look at the time clip, you're like, what the fuck?
Maybe that's a post WDC episode we could have a look at.
Oh god,
that'd be good fun. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the show questions. Give me 1 second while I navigate Discord. There's only 21 messages. Thank God. So many questions. Okay, if you have a unit that went up in base size, how do you personally get it on the right base?
I tell my commission person I would like it on a new base.
I mostly just like cut the models off a base. If it's like the model is like on a stand that's glued into it, I will like cut around that and I will just like build up texture paste around it a little bit. Like whatever, or you can also like if it's some models, you can just do like a base extension ring and then texture paste around that. It's all fine. Don't glue your base on top of a bigger base. Please don't do that. It looks stupid. I see people. So that was from Zach Point, from Rickard. I see people dominating with lists. People tell me aren't very good using a faction. Everyone agrees overpowered. And I'm still finishing with 50% win rate, despite not indulging in my crippling addiction to needless experiments. Is my local area filled with that many good players, or am I the baddie? I mean, more context needed. What?
I have a very easy answer for this, which is that you spent so much time fucking around with the random nonsense that you did not develop the skills necessary to smash with playing the good shit.
Probably true.
It's usually what it is.
Nikki D asks, are Thousand Sons GOAT lists bad for the game?
Nice. Fuck yeah, Nikki D. Love that guy.
No.
The
rule is stupid, but
the
I
rule's
think the
dumb.
Fine.
The rule's dumb.
Every time
Mag
doesn't full rerolls me to death, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, every time I don't get hit by 2 Doom Bolts, every time I don't get dev wounded by an Infernal Master, every time the Vortex of Epitaph or whatever isn't in the list.
Like, we don't need to use his government name. Every time Arcane Vortex.
Yeah. My homie,
like his mom calls him the Eldritch Vortex of Epitaph. We call him Arcane Vortex, right? Like, that's his name with the friends.
The one that got Berserker Glaive killed out back.
Look, Berserker Glaive was too powerful. It's way better. It's way less good on a shooting platform that can Overwatch.
No. Thank you, Rickard.
Guess my ELO segment. Look at deployment and end of turn to a guess the ELO of the game. Oh god, there's so much. Like, if we were willing, like the lowest I can bring myself to right now is like vaguely clickbait titles for things that are actually in my video, like the "Is the Lion Still Bad" video.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the closest I can get. And it was like by far the most popular video on our page in terms of view count. It's like, rough, god, dude. I wish clickbait didn't work.
Yeah.
I really do feel like there's a market here for like a stat check for, like a stat check at home channel where we just have like all of the low-hanging fruit stuff that doesn't go on the main page. But I just don't want to know what Typhus would do with it. That's my real.
Yeah.
If we just tell Typhus that there's a room out there for like whatever weird bullshit he thinks of, there's too much room there for him to do it. So
I like the idea of we just have like a
especially once
weekly
we have the other two joining the network. Oh, we
when
could
they
probably
announce
we
it.
could probably like soft announce that today.
No,
right?
let them do it. Make
Do we
them
wanna
make
let
their
them do it?
video.
That's true. I should make them record that by next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I'm very worried about them too.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be awful.
It's gonna be awesome. They got this. They're smart boys sometimes.
Are they?
They got it. It's gonna be fine.
I love both of them deeply, but
It's gonna be fine. Just leave it be. They got this.
okay. Real question: Grand Covenant Thousand Suns seems to be Infernal Master heavy. Is there a reason they bring children over more short-term lists? Sustained hits is better than lethal hits on the specific profiles that you're using it on. Their gun is better after the first time you use it. The
Flip a
Overwatch
dice is
Overwatch
fucked.
is better, and flip a dice is stupid, and it's not even once per turn. I've definitely seen people Overwatch with it and then also take it on a save though, and I want you to know that I see all of you, and none of you will be judged free from sin.
Yeah.
I hate that they get sustained hits in combat. It just bugs me. I really don't like that bit. Like I know that it's not in any way, shape, or form the important part of that data sheet, or even like that meaningful.
It's mostly when Mr. Vortex whacks you with the stick and has
He's just
sustained,
like,
and you're like,
my weapon stick's in dev wounds mode. Donk.
No.
It's like, oh no, my vehicle.
All my 8 bound,
I
all
want
3 of them.
He's just like he's not used his flip yet. So he's just like, I don't know, fucking that.
Well, he didn't need it to kill the first squad, so
Yeah, he overwatched and just like rolled the 6s on the first squad. And was like, well, sayonara.
bye. Yeah.
Okay. Hypothetically, if GW started to do special universes beyond releases like Magic, which universes would you like to see get models, and what faction would they go in? Also,
Phyrexia. Phyrexia would be fucking sick.
they'd just go into chaos, right? I have to imagine.
Sure, whatever. Don't care. I'd switch so fast. I am not a big magic boy. Phyrexian stuff is fucking awesome.
I would like to see. What would I like to see? I'd like to see Pokemon in 4K. Just like actual, like I just think having like the miniatures, like plastic kits of the
Tyranids.
Pokemon would be cool.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be really cool to be able to like build and paint a Pikachu.
You can just do that now. It doesn't.
Yeah,
have
I know,
to-
but like on an actual. I mean, I have one. I don't want to paint it though. But I think it'd just be cool, like to just get like a kit of like a GW like, but like I mean like GW quality, right? Like of
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
the Age of Sigmar sculptors are doing it.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
right? I would like to have like a kit that I can be like, and this is this, and it's like, oh, that's cool, right? Whereas opposed to like you get like you can get like shitty plastic ones, but they're not quite the same. I like the idea of like building and painting them. And it sounds like fun. Which faction gets SpongeBob? SpongeBob is definitely a Raven Guard, right?
Oh, come
on. For our new Oops All T11, how many knights should we budget and kill in one turn? Anthony said 3 last week. I stand by. You should be able to deal with 3. Whether that involves killing them all is up to your army. But if you can't deal with 2, if you can't kill 2 and deal with a third, you're gonna have a really bad time. And deal with can be any kind of way of dealing with it. It doesn't have to be killing, but Anthony leans towards killing because Anthony's a simple man.
I think that if it's not killing, you better be really confident that your not killing answer is going to work again the following turn.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable that I'm saying like I'm always killing 3 as GSC, but
Yep.
I'm very comfortable that I can deal with 3 as GSC. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Like-
I'm just saying you better be confident it works
Yeah.
the follow. I think a lot of people make like bad game plans because they're like, oh, that guy's move blocked, and then it's like he kills the move block, and then they're like, well, fuck, I don't have anything else over there, and it's like, well, that's not the plan, then. That's not a good plan.
For their home objective, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. My wife took the kid because I wouldn't tell her what Ennis is playing at WTC. # nice try England. I'm sorry, but also I appreciate your valor. What's your 5-man Avenger style roster to defend Earth from Warhammer playing aliens?
It's 8, first of all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have to. You have to do this one. This is you. You're Mr. Social.
I would do Liam, John, Brian, you. I was trying to hold that one for more.
Run out.
Fuck. Damn it.
Are you there?
Josh. It's eights? Like it's an 8-man team event, or
Yeah,
is it eight singles games?
It's an 8-man team event. It's an Avengers roster. Yeah.
God. Fuck. Me?
You
Is
already
that
said you were
conceded?
number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, that was Josh. Yeah, you're 6.
Yeah.
Well, you can say you. You're allowed to try to defend Earth. I believe in you.
Yeah. Brian is Sipe.
People just don't know the stature club. The when we talk about Brian, we're talking about Brian Sipe, right? It's just like
Nos.
oh god, I'm out.
Yep.
We're sure we're defending one country pretty well.
Niklaus.
Nice, good choices. All right.
There are definitely some I've forgotten there. Realistically, I'd probably take one of Typhus or Pumbaa as well, just because it's really important to have a Polish man up there.
That's true. If you had to pick one per country as well, I think that'd be an interesting challenge.
I think that'd be easier, honestly.
Probably yes, because you don't worry about offending the other 6 players in Team America that you didn't.
Well, that 8 was mostly just like who have I talked to today.
Also fair. On this Canada Day, for each host, what is your favorite Canadian food or snack?
I fuck up poutine, dude.
I really don't like gravy. It's really problematic.
Yeah.
What did I have in Canada that was really good? I don't think I had like much in the way of like actual Canadian stuff, but I do enjoy deeply maple syrup. So
all the food that I had at All Is Dust at this random bar we went to was just like some of the best food I've ever had in my life.
I had like an amazing, like the best barbecue I've ever had in my life in Toronto. But
yeah,
like like it wasn't really Canadian food, right? It was just really good food.
Ennis doesn't like sauce, so he's not gonna like gravy. Anything that's sauce adjacent.
It's a real problem.
Yeah.
Like I don't enjoy how I interact with food. Like I don't. Yeah. It's not my favorite thing either. Anthony's seen me really enjoy something until I didn't for a second. Until I was like, no, can't do it anymore.
Any form of sauce, wetness on the food, no go.
I can just about get through tomato sauce because I've been like grandfathered into it because I can't remember ever having not had it.
Got it.
It's rough. It's real rough. Okay, so you have we're not doing another Imperial Agents question. We've done Imperial Agents. I'm sorry. It's an open door considered on or off?
An open door would be on. A closed door is off.
So like I guess you're approaching this as like, is a door that is open, because a door that is open is one that is being used, or is a door that is closed one that is being used?
I'm not doing this. This is not. Right? This is like a different podcast. I don't.
Like I would say that a door that is closed is one that is being used, which would make it on, but that seems wrong. So I don't think being used and on are the same in this context, and I don't like that either.
And has made himself upset. Whoops.
Yeah, well, I just parallaxed myself into like a bad situation there. Like I just hit my own like personal paradox.
Yeah.
Closed is on, but closed is not being used. The door is, but like it depends.
Closed is off for sure. Like you can't go in there. Like, that shit's off.
Is it a door to a room or a door to outside? Because those are different for me as well.
No, I don't know. Whatever. Moving on.
I don't like any of this.
This is pain. I'm not high enough for this.
Okay, Ryan says best way to practice solo or on time constraint.
Deployment practice. Yay! Measure lines in TTS. It sucks. It's really boring and it's really important.
Take a couple pictures of your deployment. Come back to it in a couple days and be like, hey, do I like this? Why did I do this? Can I justify these decisions? If you can't, think about why. Also, you can like, if you know people are playing the same army on stream, you can do some stuff where you're like, grab a pic, take a look at the stream game. Take a picture at the start, before the start of the game. Look at the opponent's army and go, okay, how would I deploy this? Right? Like, take a screenshot, fucking print it out on a bit of paper, or like do it in Paint. Like, draw how you would deploy, and then look at what they did and ask, why did they do it differently? What challenges? What are they trying to solve that I didn't think of? What have they done? Then do the same thing with their turn 1 plan. Look at their turn 1 and go, okay, what would I do in this situation for me? And then look at what they did, and then think about how you would change that and how that would be different if you had deployed your way, and like what solves you would have that they didn't, and what solves they had that you wouldn't have, right? And see about how that interacts. You can like challenge yourself with other people's information without necessarily having to work with someone else.
Yeah.
It's like, it's real. I don't have anyone to practice with ours, but if you just don't have the ability to do that, like I would consider doing some stuff like that. Or if you have like a really high level player who's playing the list that you're playing right now, that could be a really good thing to do. Like if you were trying to learn Emperor's Children right now, go and steal Lennon's games from Edmonton and do that. Like you will get a ton out of it if you're trying to learn Emperor's Children right now, because you'll see how he's solving problems and how you're not, like how you're thinking about things in different ways to him, and you can challenge yourself on why are you thinking differently, and you're probably not doing it better than he is. So think about why your thought process was different before you look at his deployment.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. And from Carl, as a new player, I play very, very slow. I cannot play more games because games take too long. My games take too long because I cannot play more games. Do you have any tips to try to keep in mind for playing to get faster? Give like the thing that has mostly worked for me when I'm trying to help clients get faster is restrict yourself to a 5 count for any decision you make for like 3 games in a row. And just be like, hey, you get a 5 count, and that's it. If you can't make a decision in that time, go with your first gut, and you will probably get better at trusting your gut, and you will also make a bunch of mistakes that you will have to clean up. But you will get faster while you're doing it. And then over time, you will identify where it's worth taking some time to make those decisions. But when you're trying to just force yourself to get faster, just force yourself to play faster. If you can't trust yourself to play at a reasonable amount of time, don't let yourself play in a reasonable amount of time. Play in a stupidly slow, fast amount of time, and then pull back from there once you've gotten to playing at that speed. Anthony's probably got thoughts on that?
No, I think it's pretty fair. But I was never like that slow. Part of what makes me good at the game is my ability to like compartmentalize information and make decisions quickly.
Go fast is fun. I enjoy playing 40k very fast. It's a genuine competitive advantage as well, because people get stressed out and play at your speed for no reason as well.
Yeah, people definitely pull themselves to your pace and then make mistakes because they're not used to it. That's a real thing that happens.
You don't have to. You don't have to do that. Clock's there for a reason, but you can, and I'm not going
Part
to
of
stop
why
you.
I love playing on the clock is I can think if I need to.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop you trying to play at my speed, but you really shouldn't.
No.
In the last pack, I saw people wanting to have at least X units in the list to score seconds with. Have the new pack changes at all? That's not really how people build this.
X was never specific, but it was more vibes based, and I think it's just like that number is just now like X minus 1 or 2 because you don't have to contain.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you have to commit an amount of units that you are comfortable with. There being either some secondaries you can't score and being okay with those dead draws, or no secondary you can't score and being okay with the points you're spending. Right? Like you have to make it just, you have to concede somewhere, and everybody has their own comfort level with that. And that is not like, no army is right and wrong about that. I would personally prefer not to play an army that doesn't have like at least 2 units that are like dedicated secondary scorers, but that have other jobs if they can do it. But like if I'm playing knights, that may just be a thing I can't do, right? Like I just have to be like, hey man, if I just draw cleanse on turn 1 and we're playing a deployment where my knight can't go that way because it's got to do other stuff, it needs to charge maybe, I'm just not scoring 5 on cleanse this turn. And you just have to be okay with that, because that's a concession you're making in the list building step to make sure that your damage output or your positioning or your durability is where you want it to be.
Yeah.
With everything, it's a trade-off.
Dude, I played a game the other day on Terraform where I like went first, had to terraform, recover assets, and sabotage. And I was like, there's so many actions! Ah!
And here's like, I just don't want to do half of these.
Yeah, this is too much. Like, I'm not equipped for this. Armies I like to play don't do that many actions efficiently.
Yeah, it's even worse when you're going second in that situation. You're like, I've got to do that and also kill the units that you just terraformed with.
Ah, awful. And not get rushed by all the shit you staged doing all 18 of these actions.
You're like, fucking Jesus Christ, I can't be getting stressed out over this job and my real job.
Yeah, too much. Thankfully, I've eliminated that somewhat, but
see, that's why Anthony's doing real well in this meta game. Broadly, how do you build demons for singles versus teams?
Man, my answer for this, I would take big, thick murder demons right now. If I was going to play singles, I would uppy downy into people's face and just be like, my weapons are strength a lot at AP, fuck you, and melee, die.
Yeah, I can't imagine the world where like the Knight player gets connected to by Scarbrand and the Bloodthirster and Be'lakor on the same turn is one where they're enjoying their life.
No, that's bad news, dude. Real bad.
Like, what are you screening with? I don't fucking
It's
know.
also not free for knights to kill demons because demons have better invulns. So in melee,
Especially if
like
you're doing like Atroposses instead of Lancers, you're just like, hey, those are damage 4. That's a sketch number into demons.
oh yeah, no, for
4
sure.
is not that big. It's real good at killing infantry. The Lancer's 8 though. But like that Lancer's in combat with like a Beast of Nurgle and 3 Nurglings. It ain't fucking going anywhere.
It's probably still there afterwards, yeah.
I watched the Fade Thirster bounce off. Yeah, but a Fade Thirster, like the second you put the Fade to Darkness enhancement on a Bloodthirster, the damage output just like drops 10%. I don't know why, but that guy's just like, because he knows he's leaving, he's got like the hit the bricks beam on his phone. He's just like staring at that instead of his sword. Whereas Argrath, the King of Blades,
Yeah, he's there for one purpose, and that purpose is fucking.
yeah, like the second that you like, yeah, man. So that guy's got Fade to Darkness. Like he is, you know, like he's the soy boy in the corner.
Yeah.
Argrath is the King of Blades. Like, it's like Anthony versus Brian, right? Like you gotta, you can decide.
Yeah, all right, whatever. It's fine.
You pick. I trust you to decide.
Whatever.
Brian was complaining about catching strays earlier. I feel like I should just give him a direct
You're
shot.
just gonna keep giving him strays now?
I'll just give him a direct shot. I'll just say it to his face.
Yeah, got it.
I think that army is probably pretty good. I could also see just being like, hey, this is my 4 great and clean ones and 2 bloodthirsters. Just be like, you building for toughness 11? We're at 13. All those last cannons look real good now.
Yeah, all your strength 6, kick rocks.
If every area had a codex and win rate in the balance window, how long without changes would it take for 40k to become stale for you in the community? People still play chess, bro.
I think that the people that find 40k stale when things are balanced don't play the fucking game. Those people write a lot of lists on their phone.
For me, the game is stale when there's like 4 armies I can play, and if I try to deviate from like the bracket of real armies, I'm just like kicked in the nards immediately. It's like, you dared to play the 5th army. That's when the game gets stale, and I'm like, man,
maximum awful is also when those 4 games into each other are all rock paper scissors or coin flip shit shows. That is the worst version of 40k.
It's just like, hey, dude, you playing Death Guard Thousand Sons of Imperial Knights right now? Man, some of those matchups into each other are real fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
At least Death Guard can just indirect their way out of any problem. Death Guard never met a matchup they couldn't go first with PVCs into.
Indirect.
I wish it was wrong as well, right? It's just like worst case scenario, like you could just hit 3 mortal wound rolls on a really important thing. Just be like, oops, that unit and that unit are dead for no reason.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason, for that question. Henry the Wizard, which turret bioform tastes the best? I don't even remotely think that has an appropriate answer. I don't want to think about that very much.
Yep, moving on.
How do I make playing Space Marines feel less boring? You don't. Units and detachments seem to blur together in the same meh way. I'm trying to commit to DA for teams for a durable defender. Nope. Bro, you bought white bread. You don't get to complain that it doesn't have any seats in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Sorry, bro. Oatmeal's down the hall and sourdough's on the corner.
Yeah. I like that your upgrade for more interesting bread was oatmeal. That's funny. That says a lot about you. Like, dude, you want bread with some spice? Have you tried oatmeal? Oh, son.
Yeah, dude, if I was a spice, I'd be flour. Like, let's be honest.
Hilarious. That's good.
You know what I mean? Like oats and seeds. That's what's in the cupboard right now.
I gotcha. I understand what you meant. It wasn't any less funny.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, as we all know, my interactions with food are not healthy in any way, shape, or form. You should not be like me when it comes to food. I'm sorry. I can see him in the chat, and it's just
Dom.
I feel like I'm letting Dad down.
Yeah, you are. You're letting Stream Dad down, dude.
Oh, Christ. Like, my dad's a vegetarian, and like I don't eat a lot of the stuff he does, so it's just like we end up with just like 4 meals. This like when we like at home. Like we all just like eat our own stuff, and it's really easy, especially when I'm like an hour between work calls to just like make some brown shit out the freezer. So I do that a lot.
Out the freezer,
yeah, dude. I wish. Like, I don't know, man. It's rough. It's a real rough like that. But I know what I like, and it's really easy to just do that when like you don't want to make decisions.
Yeah.
I don't like beans. I can confirm that I do not like baked beans. Baked beans are awful. Baked beans smell like garbage.
The old memes, dude. The ancient Fight Club
Beans.
lore.
Remember when our shitposting channel was called Beans and Bears?
Yeah, it was the two things we hate.
Yeah, Ben. I think I broke Ben's heart multiple times in Vegas. Yeah, just dude, it sucks. I wish I liked food more.
On the other hand, I like food a lot. So if we're going to an event and you're going to be there and you want to bring me something, I'll eat whatever it is. Unless it has fish. I don't like that.
All right. I've just read the next question down after this one. I think you're gonna like that one. Now that 100% vehicle skips are definitely something you'll encounter in a single run, what is your favorite off-the-wall anti-vehicle skew tech piece you've never considered until now? My favorite thus far is Tyler trying to psy up the NID challenger running Shock Cannon Hive Guard.
Ew. What? Disgusting.
They Overwatch on 4s. They're okay.
I fucking guess.
I've seen people trying to fit the 10-man with melee weapons into host.
The what? Oh,
the 10-man melee acolytes with the biophage. I'm like, please just fucking stop. You don't need to do this. You don't need to hurt yourself like this.
I think so. Like, my answer to this was gonna be the overly engineered, over expensive monstrosity that is a slaughterbound leading 6 exalted 8 bound. And then Lords of Drake had a fucking -1 damage strat, and that no longer works at all.
We ran the math on it being like 20 damage, and you're like, that's not enough, unfortunately.
Dude, it's like 12. It's not even 20.
I think the slaughterbound does more with Berserker.
Oh, yeah, the slaughterbound adds to it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, the exalted by themselves do like 3 damage each or something stupid. 2 Ares and Null Maidens. Yes, let's fucking go.
That sounds sick. What's that even mean?
I don't fucking know. I don't want to know. I like to live in a pure world where that's a thing that you could do. Okay, this question made me laugh very much, Anthony. Tyler D asks, "Is there hope for host GSE in the current meta?"
Yeah, the hope. I don't even. I wish I had something funny to say here.
It's probably okay, guys. Host is pretty good. Your death.
How much do you like? I think the degree to which someone will be good at trains, I mean, good at GSC, is direct. You know what? I'm going to leave that at that. That's basically what's required to be good at GSC. Is do you really enjoy trains? That'll make you great at GSC.
Got my trains of ascension, mate.
Yeah. Boom! Nailed it. Next question.
Yeah, you got a lot of trainsing wheels. Host is great. Your matchup into like everything is like your worst case scenario is your 250, 280 OC. It's kind of hard for it to go bad. You just kind of play the game like a normal human being, and like everything's at least kind of okay. And there's always upside. Indirect wins a lot of games somehow. It's like, oh, dude, you lost your home objective holders. I guess you can't screen back there now. And they're just
now
like,
bad stuff's gonna happen to you.
It's really easy for that to just like go a turn wrong, a turn early for people. All right, Isaac. After playing a lot of VC and Caissons, I've learned to love the Rhino. Why do you think Rhinos have gotten so prevalent in 10th compared to 9th? Weren't Rhinos like fucked up last edition as well?
They weren't fucked up. They were just still good. I used them a bunch.
I remember just fucking hating Star Weavers just the entire edition.
Oh, sure.
Like,
actually, now that I think about it, I played almost exclusively transport armies, except for that brief window on Nids.
Like Raiders were like the
Venoms
best unit in the game for a while, along with Venoms. Then it was like
you could fly over terrain.
Star Weavers, Repentia Rhinos. I'm pretty sure last edition were a real thing.
There was a couple. There was a couple hitters. World Eater Rhinos
weren't playing a ton of them, but that was because Council can deep struck, so they didn't really need them. World Eater Rhinos, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure they were really good last edition. They weren't as good. They were better. I think like. So Anthony, you didn't play a ton of 8th, right? But like they were a little better at 8th. They got toned down a little into 9th, and then they got turbocharged in 10th. But in 8th, you disembarked within 3, not wholly within 3. So they were like an extra inch and a half closer to things, just with everything, and it was a mess.
No.
All right. I got to give Magnus a Saint Hits on his gun with the Challenger card. What has been your best strategy used for Challenger cards so far?
I don't really have anything super funny. Mine are all just like I scored 9 diff. Christ,
Points
scored
and
nine.
scored 2 diff off it or 3 diff off it.
Yeah, I
It was
scored
exact-
9 cards.
It was exactly off the bracket into the bracket.
Yeah, I scored 9 points where I shouldn't have. Like there's a lot of those.
I got to give a neophyte squad that rezzed lethal hits on the drop and just feel like that thing's fucked. That was
Ooh,
nice.
yeah,
Just like,
that's bad.
crit fives is going again. What
The
other ones?
lightning out sky just lit up the skyline, so I may not be here in a minute.
Sure. If Anthony's back with superpowers next week, we'll know why.
Yep.
What else has been interesting? Silent King going through walls just like out of nowhere or fall
They
back
could
to
just do
charging.
that.
Yeah, not in Awakened.
Oh, sure.
Magnus going through walls is a mess.
Yeah.
I did have one of my bike squads in GSC demolition run grenade plus grenade strat from Challenger card and just kill a vehicle outright.
Don't like that.
Just
Don't
like
like
here
that
is
at all.
17 more wound. Oh, that's dead. It's just gone.
Yeah. That's bad.
I think I did like 5 with the drive-by mortals and used the strat and dropped it to 2, and I was like, I mean, I guess here you go. All right. James asked favorite commander color combo. My favorite deck is my Calamorph blue red deck that I bought for like with the prize money I won from Hellstorm. It sits by my desk. It's just like in the corner in the pile.
Nice.
It's actually like specifically there because I don't have anywhere to hang it. I'm not gonna hang a giant novelty check, but it can sit there. So I have a Gearson Star deck to build with that. My first deck was also a Stellar deck. But my favorite deck to play is probably right now. I really enjoy my Shrufus deck, which is the mono green. But I think I have like most color quadrums. I've just finished building up a Talia deck. I'm working on a blue farm deck for like bracket 4-ish because I wanted a slightly higher power deck, which is 4-color non-green. Yeah, playing about with some stuff. I'm about to order a bunch of cards for that deck actually.
Nice.
Yeah, the second I finished like paying for WTC flights and stuff, I'm like, I need to book those. And I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. Let's go buy some. Let's go make a deck that's a bit more fun, a bit more powerful. Anthony, okay, Floof's asking questions, which means this is inevitably going to go wrong. Anthony, all the 40k factions I keep on shelves just fell off. Could you help me organize them back on the shelves based on how good they are in the current meta? Like the top armies on shelf S and the work armies on shelf F, and the rest of the shelf on somewhere on shelves A to C.
The top of the list is whatever Innis is playing, and then everything under that is you and Isaac trying to copy him. Good luck, Floof.
And also whatever Brian's playing is inherently on shelf F because everything Brian plays is terrible. But Brian will tell you it's terrible while 20-0ing you.
Yeah, I was gonna say while tearing your arms off and feeding them to you.
Like,
yeah,
no, this army is just awful.
Sucks, dude.
Orcs need buffs right now. Anyway, here's your kidney.
Yeah, the good bit was your kidneys.
Okay, Nick Chaos. How about showing where Anthony reacts to user submitted songs? We call it sound check.
I think that'd be fun. I'd do something like that. I have no musical background at all, so it's going to be a lot.
I also just want to like very quickly, just because I don't want the joke to get away from it. Floof came up with the host list. I 100% perfected it, but they did develop it.
I understand what happened. I don't care.
I just want to clarify that when Floof was playing this list, they were only playing one Benefictus, and it's really important that everybody knows that they were only playing one intentionally.
That's
and I
crazy.
don't like that very much.
Yeah, that's a crazy move.
How about somewhere? Oh, sorry. And then Carl asks, is Xenocreed just worse than host or is it flat out bad? It is just worse than host. It is not flat out bad. It is a pretty good detachment. The fact that you can bring back 3 squads of 10 metamorphs is fucking hilarious because you get the 12 points. But yeah. Floof, your original version only had one Benefictus.
Might have had 2.
No, it definitely only had one because
I didn't pay a lot of attention when I played against it, but
I straight copied it. It was one Benefictus.
Fair enough.
All right. I think that is the end of the show questions. So I'm
We
going to
did
go do my least favorite part of the show.
What do you
which
mean?
Is,
You love
I
this
know,
part.
You can do it.
I'm not gonna.
So I'm going to do it then.
Godspeed.
All right. So this is the shout out part of the show. So anybody who's a part of the Call to High Five, which is our $15 tier, gets to have their name shouted out at the end of the show. Floof, you could have converted them. Please tell me that that's not a genuine argument. They are gene stealer models with a staff and a big brain. Stick an adrenal gland on the back of a guardsman. All right. Thank you to Christopher. Finally remembered to update this message before the show. Potatoes, and then never ever closes their quote. So I want you to assume that everything that follows after this is included in Chris's quote and is Chris's message from that.
Okay.
Willow Weeks. Thank you to Willow Weeks. Thank you to Dan F. Thank you to Luke Harden's taking the subway McCarthy. Thank you to David. He must be humble of heart, strong of arm, be savage in war, loyal to hearth, and follow deeds of glory. He must keep honor with all, banish cowardice from his doings, and bring his house no shame. He must serve the emperor and defend the imperium. Thus should a knight rule himself. Clark. Thank you to IEAIAIOI ear. Thank you to James H. Thank you to Colton Dan F. Miller. Thank you to Fungus. Thank you to John V8 Gang. Ruining the narrative is just Nathan in the Crusade League. Thank you to Cam, F. Dan, Morton, Hog Emoji, Hug Emoji. Thank you to Archon Rahal. Nothing silly this week, just wishing everyone all their best with their events. Thank you to Josiah Gattel. Thank you to Dreadlord Frankie. Thank you to Isaac. I would like to file a complaint about personal harassment by multiple static hosts across multiple platforms. You'll be hearing from my attorney, Tarada. Don't you mean hearing from my attorney? Thank you for the video in it. Oh yeah, thank you. I did another video on what was it? Oh yeah, I did Beyond the Basics 2 on identifying whether a detachment or a unit is good or bad and how you can do that better. And you should go and watch it if you think that you should be playing Centurion Devastators in Wrath of the Rock, or apparently just playing Wrath of the Rock. But thank you to Thomas. Why is there so little WTC pref time left for Koyan? I promise I will some point we'll schedule that call that we were meant to be having. Thank you to Stephen. Nathan shot my Silent King with an Archer Boss and he exploded for over 30 mortal wounds. It was biblical. Ross, I'm sorry that happened to you, Stephen. Thank you to Tom. Chicago style is not pizza. H. Thank you to Rickard. It would be in poor taste if I did the usual gimmick. So instead, I will say they never did announce who stole the blue Smarties, and that bothered me for decades. I'm pretty sure that in the UK at Christmas time, you can usually get like a full tube of blue Smarties, and I'm pretty sure they're made of crack cocaine. Because when I was a kid, they got rid of them because like the E numbers were like causing hyperactivity in children. So that's all my brain can associate with them now. And if I have like 3 of them, it's like taking a shot of Red Bull. Thank you to Harley Painted 2 Boss because I am McWarp's strongest soldier. Thank you to our fake sponsors of the week. Floof's 300 milligram back medication, 1 milligram per model to make you best while you move 6 inches at a time. Wow, 6 inches? Really overachieving there. Thank you to Gucci ? And thank you to Innes. Your Wheel of Time books are throwing off the feng shui of the room. You should place them with a fantasy series that isn't only partially written by Brandon Sanders to make it really pop. The shelf below them, like the one, like top one is Wheel of Time. The next one down, what's on the next one down, is just like a random assortment of like The Name of the Wind, American Gods, which I should really get rid of. Loch Lamora, Hitchhiker's Guide, His Dark Materials. Then below that is 2 Sanderson shelves. And then below that, I have Jim Butcher and a bunch of random stuff. And then the bottom is all my codexes from like 7th edition. So there's a lot more options. And then the other side has other stuff, but whatever. And thank you to Let's Change the Charge Phase. No, John. No, we're not thanking you for that. You don't get a thank you. Right. I think that's going to do it for us for the week. I hope everybody's had a wonderful episode. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you did, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Coaching, blah, 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 sponsors, description, all that good stuff. Anthony, you had a good week?
It's going pretty good.
You gonna have another good week?
Probably.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, if anybody's at a tournament this weekend, do very best of luck to you, unless you're playing Death Guard, in which case, I hope you lose. Specifically to Thousand Sons players, so that the both armies look broken and can get nerfed. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week, which will probably be a bit of a WTC list predictions show or something like that. Where we'll just be like, hey, which factions do we think we'll maybe do some over-unders and stuff like that in a more codified faction. I think that sounds like fun. And then we'll be back the week after for WTC lists, review, reveal, all that stuff. We'll be talking about comps, all that interesting stuff. So if you want to get even more serious, even more into the nitty-gritty, and we've got some more news coming on that front, which we'll be letting them announce in the next week or 2 once I can pin them down and make them do something, because frankly those are 2 people that are not very responsible when it comes to this kind of stuff. But we'll get them to do some stuff, so we'll have very news for you soon. Otherwise, have a fantastic week, good luck, and catch you next time.